Avengers Assemble! Today we are looking at the Hasbro Avengers figure line, and this is figure number 14, Grapple Blast Black Widow. Or should I say, the elusive Black Widow. This figure has had some fluctuation. I think now it's coming down in price. But as I've seen it, she's commanded some high prices on eBay. Well, at least high prices for a 3 3/4 inch figure. I was really afraid she was going to be the Sif of this line, the figure I really wanted to have in the collection to round out the group of figures I already collected, but could never get my hands on. But one day, walked into Walmart, I was in there to buy tartar sauce. Figured I'd go check out the toys, see if there's anything new. Black Widow and Hawkeye swinging from the pegs, grabbed them, took pictures, sent them to my friend, laughed that he paid 30 bucks for one. It's all good. But the real question is, does this figure live up to the hype and the price tag? Let's take a closer look. First off, we have her stupid accessory, the Grapple Blaster, I guess? I think we got this with a Thor figure, didn't we? It looks really familiar. It looks really crappy. It's got this T up here, and red parts and black. At least they tried to do Black Widow-y colors, and it kind of looks like the Black Widow design, but obviously it's reused, so it wasn't really intended to be that. But you hit the button at the top, it shoots the missile off, and these little duck bills open up. And then they don't want to ever close again, because it's a really cheap piece of crap. Yeah, seriously, I put the thing back in, this will not go in. I have to pop it back out. I don't even know what to do with this. There. Really cheap, really stupid. It also has a peg at the back here, which you could also stick into her back. I wonder if that's actually how it's supposed to go on the figure instead of her holding it. Then maybe it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be like the old Batman toys. I know I used to have one that would launch a missile up with a string attached, and you could supposedly climb the rope or whatever. But there's no string attached to this, so all it's going to do is shoot this T up into the air and be lost and eaten by the dog. As for Widow herself, I have to say, I'm impressed by the head sculpt. I've heard people ripping on it, saying it wasn't that good of a head. I think they actually got it pretty good for what we get out of these figures. For what I expect getting a movie-style figure in the 3 3/4 inch line from Hasbro. It's pretty good. From a profile view, it's a little goofy looking, but like a 3/4 view, I think she looks pretty good. She looks very Black Widow-y, and even from the front, she looks pretty darn good. The hair color's nice, the red lipstick's cool, eyebrows, all the good detail in there. I am really impressed with as much detail as they got into that face. Not bad at all. And, you know, they got some other assets going on. Her chest is well proportioned, as well as her rear end there. She's a little thin to the side, and I never really noticed if Scarlett Johansson's really just built like that, or if this is just the way the toy's been over-sexualized. Maybe it was based off the poster art. Maybe that's what's doing it. On either shoulder, she has a little shield emblem that's so tiny, but also well detailed. I can't even zoom in close enough to give you a good look at it. But it's there and well done. She's got her zipper going down the front of her costume, leading into her Black Widow symbol belt buckle, which is cool. She's got her little biker gloves on and her gauntlets. I wish the gauntlets would have had kind of the blue going through them, like in the movie when she's powering them up. That would have been kind of neat, but can't really complain, I guess. This is okay for what it needs to be. The legs are fairly plain. They're just pants. She's got her boots down here. One thing I'd never noticed in the movie, I want to look at it again and see if it's really like that, but she has these high heel, I guess they're like wedge boots. So she's still kind of wearing high heels, but they're more utilitarian, which, I don't know. I know it's a comic book movie, but this just seems so silly. She also has her little utility belt that has a tendency to float up on her, but it's got 2 holsters on it, and each holster has a gun. Here's the little gun she comes with. They're both the same. My big problem with them is they're a soft rubber. If they'd been a hard plastic, they would have been just fine, but they're a soft rubber and they're very flimsy, but they are very well detailed for a little gun this size. It's very tiny. But because they're soft rubber, she has a hard time holding them. They're just really difficult to get into her hand. And the other weird part is, she has a trigger finger on this hand, but not on this one, so you have to put her hand below the trigger guard. Or you could do what I did on Cap and just sever the finger. But for as uncommon as Black Widow is, the Cap I know I could replace easily enough if I wanted to. Black Widow's a little harder to replace, so I'm not going to mess with her yet. The gem of Black Widow is, I feel like it's from a different line because she has articulation. She has a ball-jointed head with a great range of motion. And this makes no sense. We had all these characters like Hawkeye with short hair, and the up and down on their ball joint has been pathetic. Black Widow has all this big red hair, and she has a great neck ball joint. I don't get it. Still nothing through the torso, nothing at all. But pin and socket shoulder. My one fear is, every time I go to rotate this arm up, it seems like the joint is separating. I think mine is defective, but I'm just going to be very gentle with it. This shoulder is still really stiff as well, but it rotates a little better. You can bend and swivel at the elbow, rotate at the wrist. Holy crap. The legs are more of the traditional movie style. It's got the one little hinge in there, so you can move it out to the side, forward, back. You have to rotate it to get it to go where you want. Swivel at the upper leg, bend the knee at 2 points, and bend at the foot. What a novel concept. She could also swivel at the foot. Now the swivel is a little weird because it's somewhere between a swivel and an ankle pivot, because it moves on this kind of elliptical range here. But still, holy crap, she has articulation. Overall, I'm actually really impressed with this Black Widow figure. I didn't expect to be impressed with her. I thought she's popular because she's a little on the rare side, and it's just going to be another one of these Avengers figures, and oh my god, I'm going to plop down more money on this, and do I really want to spend the extra cash to get it on eBay before I found it in the store? You know, I was really not sure if this figure was worth any of the attention it was getting. But now that I got it out of package, I really like it. I think she's pretty darn nice, and I'm looking at the card back here. I'm going to bring this in. And I think my figure actually has a nicer face than the card art, which is really, really unusual. But I'm really glad I got Widow. I'm glad I found her at a store, so I paid the normal retail price. But I'm really glad I got my hands on her. She's probably one of the nicest figures we've gotten in the Avengers line so far. And that's sad, but it's true. And at the end of the day, if any of my Avengers figures are going to be this well articulated, I am glad it's her. Iron Man, at least you could pose like he's shooting his repulsor. Thor, you could just pose with the hammer. Cap, you could just pose with a shield. Hulk, you could just throw in the garbage. Hawkeye could pose okay with his bow. And granted, if this figure just had the crappy articulation, you could probably just stick her with the guns pointing out or something. But it's so cool that there is the potential to do some cool ninja moves with her. I mean, when it comes to Black Widow, this is the kind of fun stuff you want to be able to do. A ball-jointed torso or a waist joint would have been gravy on this. But this is at least closer to a Marvel Universe articulation, which is kind of sad that we've strayed so far away from it with these figures. But yeah, I'm going to recommend Widow for sure. Definitely one to try to pick up. Not sure if she's worth the $30 my friend paid for her. I know some other people are paying for her. Really glad I was able to get mine at retail, as I've mentioned several times already. But definitely a cool figure. I'm glad I have her. And once again, we're taking another break from the Hasbro 3 3/4 inch Avengers stuff. The next wave is scheduled, I think, August or September. We're going to get a Nick Fury, and I heard rumors that we're going to get a super articulated Iron Man, which would be cool. I would definitely be interested in him if that's the case. But I saw some pictures from Comic-Con that looked like it was Iron Man with a slightly different paint job and a slightly different weapon. So if that's the case, I'm totally skipping that figure. So we'll see what that brings and how easy they are to find. I think we get the Chitauri too. Are we getting the Chitauri? It'd be nice to have some enemies to stick in there besides Loki. But yeah, that's it for right now. This has been another Outside the Box review. And stay tuned, because as much as we're getting away from the movie's release, there's still plenty more Avengers stuff to review. Talk to you guys later.